Thank you for being here. I'm Johnny J. Rivera, and you are in Johnny's Music Garage. I appreciate you being here today. Wanted to make a video, show you 3 chords, pretty easy, get you on your way. But there's some things I need to talk about on the guitar first. The fretboard, this is our fretboard right here. And the most important part on the fretboard is the frets. So this would be 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, and so on. You have dots or some kind of markers on the guitar. Most guitars have that, not all of them, but hopefully yours does. It just tells you where you're at on the guitar. The neck of the guitar, and it's real important that your thumb is behind the neck, not like this. I've seen that before, and certainly not below the neck. That doesn't work either. Okay. So we're going to talk about our strings, because that's important. We have 6 strings on a standard guitar, and we're in standard tuning. So I'm going to start with the 1st string, because it's important that you memorize all the names of the strings as well. All right. So this is the 1st string. It's called E. Here's the 2nd string called B. 3rd string called G. 4th string is D. 5th string is A. And then the last one is E, 6th string. Okay? If you have an app tuner, you can get that anywhere. If you got an iPhone or an Android or whatever you have, you can get the tuners for free. Otherwise, just use the tuning that I gave you so we're both in the same key. All right? Let's talk about our hands. It's important to know that this is your 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd, and 4th on the guitar. T for thumb. But today we're pretty much going to be using mainly these 3 fingers, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Okay? And then it's important when you're playing chords to be comfortable on the guitar. You should never, it shouldn't feel awkward at all. You might have a little, pain in your fingers when you first start playing, but your wrists really shouldn't hurt, until you get used to all this stuff. You really shouldn't have any wrist pain, though, or any finger pain except for the tips of your fingers. Speaking of tips, you want to make sure you're playing with the tips of your fingers. There are some chords that you might play. There it is. That you might play with the the back of the finger, but for the most part, it's the tips of your fingers. Okay. And we also want to bend our knuckles. Okay. We don't want to play flat with these particular chords that I'm going to show you, and I'll get to that right now. So wrists should never really be up like this. I see that a lot. Make sure that's down. You got to be comfortable when you're playing. Make sure that you're comfortable. Okay. The body of the guitar, if you're playing an acoustic or electric, should be against your body. I see some people with the guitar, and it's like this. It should be against your body. You should be looking over at the chords, and again, be comfortable. So we'll start with the 1st finger. You're going to put your 1st finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, right there. Okay, don't squeeze yet. And then the middle finger is going to go on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and then your ring finger is going to go on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. So what you want to remember is tips of your fingers, and you're going to use your thumb back here to press back against the neck. So give that a shot. Just squeeze. You may sound like this when you first start. Happens, okay? It's also important to note that you don't want any of your fingers on the fret, because then you'll just get that. So you want to be behind the fret for sure, okay? Now this is an A major chord, so we're going to use this A note to start with, okay? So I want you to play them one at a time, so they all ring out, okay? So if you hear this, you'll see that my wrist is up. I want it down, bringing it away with my knuckles out. See that? So then when you're playing, you're not muting any of the strings especially the E string with yours. That's because my hand's up with the back of your hand. A lot of guys I see play when they first start out, they like choking the guitar. Loosen up a little bit, bring your wrist Bring it, you don't want to be up, you want to be down, and then bring the knuckles out, okay? And play each one at a time, okay? Next chord is D major. You're going to take your first finger, put it on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Our second finger is going to go on the 1st string, 2nd fret, and then our 3rd finger is going to go on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, okay? And again, this is D major, and we have a D bass note here, so we're going to use that right there. And we're going to start from there, and one at a time, just strum, using your thumb again to squeeze behind the neck. And it's all right. It sounds like that. It's okay. Everybody sounds like that when they first start. But remember, wrist down, squeeze using the back of your thumb, and work on getting a clean, clear sound. Okay? The final chord we're going to learn is E major. You're going to use your first finger and put it on the 3rd string, 1st fret, middle finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and then our 3rd finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret, okay? Now this one is pretty common when people are playing it, again, to choke the neck, and you get all that happening. And again, that's because you need to move your hand away from the neck. So, one at a time. And because we're playing an E major, you can use this note to play, okay? So when you're playing chords, it's important to start on the root. We'll get into some theory later. You don't have to start on the root to play the particular chord. Sometimes the roots are in different places. But for now, just know that A major, we're going to play with that A note, 5th string. Then D major, we're going to start with the 4th string. And then the E major is going to go start with the 6th string, like that, all right? And then back to A. So when you're playing, what I want you to do is create a really slow strumming pattern. So they're quarter note strums, and it'll sound like this. You're counting out loud, and you're going really slow. You don't need to go fast at all. But the most important thing is keep the right hand moving. You don't want the right hand to stop when you change chords, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So like this, we're gonna go 1. We'll count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to where you're at. 1, 2. And then just repeat that over and over until it gets a little cleaner, you know? The reason you don't want to stop your right hand, most people do this, I did this when I started playing. It's 1, 2, 3, and then most people stop and then set their fingers to the next chord and then begin playing again. What I'd like you to do is this. Look at the shape you're playing, because chords are nothing more than shapes. This is like a thing, like a ladder. I kind of liken it to a ladder. This is like a triangle, an upside down triangle. I don't really know what this is, but they're shapes. And some shapes are movable and some are not on the guitar. So memorize the name of the chord, the shape. Sometimes I tell my students, hold a chord, look at it, take your fingers off, count to like 10, and then put them back on. See if you can memorize where they're at. You have to memorize these chords and their names, okay? So the strumming pattern again is just slow, 2, 3, 4, and don't stop the right hand. You might get that. It's all right. Play through it, and then go into the E, and then you might get that. Just keep playing. The whole point is to keep your hand moving, and your fingers will follow, okay? I hope this helps you out. If you liked what you learned today, subscribe, click the like button, and I really appreciate you being here. Again, I'm Johnny J. Rivera. You're in Johnny's Music Garage, and I'll see you next time with another video. Thank you so much.